Poppy, baby.
Yo, 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 what's up, y'all? It's Positive Poppy, baby. We out here. Today, I'm honored to be sitting with the fire photographer, culture curator, Karl Perkins himself. How you doing,
Good,
dog?
was good. I'm doing well, bro. Just hang in there. Hope everyone's staying safe, staying clean during this quarantine time. Like just like everyone else, just trying to navigate through the uncertainty of the situation.
Bro, it's so real. It's so real, man.
hmm
I feel like Corona has really forced creatives to get creative on what they're doing.
Of course. It's crazy because like I always feel like get put in an uncomfortable situation, whether it's like shit like this or whether it's like a new like situation and like just making shit. Like you always come out with, if it's not fire the first time, you always come out with like some sort of experience out of it. So I hope
Oh,
everyone is
bro.
like trying to see the silver lining in that, during
No,
this.
that's real. That's real, bro. So
Mhm.
it's gonna get warmed up a little bit, man. Just talk to me. What's your favorite color and why?
What's my favorite color, bro? Orange. I love
Okay.
orange. I love yellows. They're really warm and they're just like bright and out there. And I feel like, even though I'm not like that, but I feel like when people get to know me, like I kind of am. So it's like I love those colors, orange and yellow.
Orange and yellow. Okay, okay, okay. What's one word to describe you and why?
Ooh, I think, oh, one word. I
In
think
one word.
shit. I think revolutionary,
Ooh.
or yeah, I think revolutionary might be a word that I would try to strive for if I had a choice.
Okay, why?
Why? Because like I feel like everything that I try to do moving forward, at least I'm trying to set my standards for myself, is that like it has to change like how people perceive what has been done before or what's possible.
Mm.
Like I try to strive for that, like moving forward, whatever I do, whatever project I work on, because I don't know, like it's cool and all, like to see what people do and like try to draw inspiration from other people and stuff. But I strongly believe like the human experience is like so much bigger and like is pushed by people trying to like just change the things, how people view things and how people accept things.
No, that's real. That's real. I feel that. Revolutionary. I like that, man.
Yeah.
What's your go-to takeout spot in your
Take out
neighborhood during this COVID lockdown?
shit. And honestly, bro, like I go to UCLA right now. So
Okay, man.
I'm about to graduate this quarter, and usually takeout. Like I don't be in and out, bro. That's like the only spot. Like they give me food because I work. So I work at UCLA and they give me food and shit like that too. So like I'd be like stingy and shit. I'd be like getting food from there and shit like that. From UCLA. So like I don't have to pay for shit.
I feel that. I feel
But
that.
yeah, like in and out is always a go to, bro. Like if someone has a car, like
Major
I don't got
key.
a car, bro.
Word.
So I had to call someone up to drive my ass through the fucking drive-through and pick me up with number one with grilled onions. You feel me? And a chopped
Yes.
peppers, bro.
Yes, you gotta respect that double double with the chopped peppers, bro.
Peppers, double chopped
Oof,
peppers.
oof,
You feel me?
oof,
Gotta
oof.
keep it spicy up in this.
I'm dead. I'm dead. Okay, okay, dope. So y'all heard it right here. You buy UCLA, hit up In and Out.
In and out. I guess if you really want the UCLA experience, get yourself like some fat sows or some shit like that. But fuck fat sows. We all about in and out, bro.
Okay, okay, respect, respect. Okay, so talk to us.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you do? Like, how would you like if
How
you
I
ran
describe,
into, huh?
how do I describe myself?
No, 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 no. Like, what is it that you do? Like, if you ran into Kanye at the car wash, and he's like, "Hey, what do you do?"
I feel like
How do you
I
respond?
think, bro, like I'm not gonna lie, I feel like everyone says this, but I honestly believe like I'm like either like a creative director or art director. Cause I just have an eye for things that are moving. Like I have the ability to kind of bring people together from different like just backgrounds or different how do you say it, like workspaces and stuff like that, just like and then try to create and make an idea happen. And like whether it's through music, whether it's through visual arts, whether it's through technology, like I strongly believe like my ability is to connect people together to make a project happen, not necessarily being the best technically speaking, but understanding the broader picture of something and then like executing on it. And that's it. Like that's how I explain to people what I try to do.
So you're almost like a creative producer, like
Yeah, in a
you make
sense,
it
like
happen.
yeah, like producer, direct, like I have an idea and I might not like I understand like I strongly believe like not everyone has the answers to everything, but I have people around me that has experience or has knowledge of it, you know, and
Yeah,
I utilize that to my advantage in a sense to make a bigger picture happen. And
I
like
feel that.
like inspire people to like be a part of something bigger rather than just, you know, tunneling vision on like that their one craft or whatever it might be, you know?
Right. No, for real. So is that kind of where command comes into play?
Yeah, like so I'm not sure, dude. Honestly, dude. I gotta ask you a question. How the fuck do you find me? Like, it was just like I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll
I
be
feel like,
honest. I don't even know how I found you, bro. I
bro,
just realized that I was following you. I was like, wait, who the fuck is this? And I tapped like, yo, this dude's pretty fucking lit. Let me hit him
yeah.
up.
So, yeah, that's like command started, dude. Like, if you want, I'll tell you my like. I can't explain command without my background. I feel like
Okay,
so
yeah,
like
yeah. Let's do that.
yeah, like I'll give you a little backstory. So like graduating high school, like, and I'm a senior now. So graduating high school like 4 years ago, about to be 4 years ago, and coming in college, like I feel like everyone that's young and shit like that, like when they first out, even not even just going to college, just in general, being from your like teens going on to your 20s type, like you try to figure out, like you thought you figure out yourself and shit like in high school, but you didn't, bro. Like I came to
Right.
college, like I used to do a lot of sports and shit, and I was into fashion and I was into like being quote unquote different and cool and shit like that, but I was not like into it. I was not in that world. And then when I got to college, like there was no more sports. Like I'm a 5'5" fucking Asian bruh. Like I'm not, you know, like bro, like I'm not. I'm gonna be hooping at the rec center, but I'm not doing that shit like that no more. You
I'm
know,
pissed. I feel
like you
you.
feel
I feel
me?
it. I
Like
feel
God
it.
did not bless me with the genes. Like it's good, but I've always been interested in shit like that, music, like all the like more pop culture side of things and like understanding like all that shit. And then that kind of led me into like, oh, dude, like I'm bored, and like, and that's when I first started smoking weed and shit too. I'm like, I'm a square. I'm thinking about it. And like, I was starting being lazy and stuff. And I was like, bro, like I got like my mentality was I got to get into something. I got to get into something. And then I started taking photos. Like first, I started trying to make beats, and I was trash as fuck, bro.
Bro, I
I
feel
was like,
you.
yo, I pirated Logic Pro. I tried to make beats. That shit was ass. Like, did not stick through with it. So next thing I picked up was photos because, like, bruh, I strongly believe everyone could be a photographer, bro. I strongly believe that because, like, especially even the younger generation from us, like, we grew up with a camera and everything. Think about it. Like, you take selfies every
Right.
day, you record videos. Like, it's just part of, like, a natural process now, you know? So it's
Yeah.
like, I just felt like that was my craft. So I just started to try to build it. And this was at the time when, like, Gunnar Stahl, like, all the film motherfuckers started popping
Yep.
off. And
Yep.
like I was keeping up with that. So I was like, yo, like I'm just gonna get a film camera. And I still have that camera today. Like that shit's broke as fuck in the back, but and I don't even have like a
what
different camera,
what'd you
right?
start
So
off on?
I started off on a Canon AE1,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Yep.
And then like it was an SLR, and I bought the flash and everything. And then I bought I bought a point and shoot at the same time too. And it was like an Olympus or some shit,
Yes.
but yeah, I started out with like doing film work and shit, like, and I just shot random shit. Like I shot regular shit. My high school friends would come down visit me in LA. I'll bring the camera with me. I bring my camera everywhere and just document
Where are you
shit.
originally?
I'm from Oakland.
Okay, yes,
Yeah, I'm
bro.
from
I love
Oakland.
the
Like,
Bay Area, bro.
yeah,
I love people from the Bay. I
yes,
love y'all.
yes. Like it's so funny. I didn't realize like being from like I knew being from Oakland is a thing that you like everyone's proud of from Oakland, but I didn't know how much people look at you different and like kind of give you that sense of like respect in a sense. I don't know why it's weird, bro. Like when I tell people I'm from Oakland, I didn't realize like they're like, bro, you from Oakland? I can see that, bro. Like, I can see that. I can see why you like this shit and stuff like
That's
that.
guts, bro. It's so
Yeah.
real. That's exactly what I was thinking right now. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I see it. I see it.
Yeah. But like, where you from? How about you? Where are you from, bro?
I'm from Ontario. It's like the
Yeah.
IE.
Oh, bet. I was like,
Yeah.
Ontario as in like Canada?
Nah, I'm not that cool, bro. I'm not that cool. I wish. That
Bro.
every time they're like, "Oh, Canada," and I'm like, "Nah, the IE." They're like, "Oh, that's not as cool." I'm like, "Well, yeah, fuck you."
Nah, bro, like being from Cali in general is different in SoCal, but yeah, but like I started just getting in photos, and then one of my friends, his name's Ben 10K, and he does a lot of producer work now. He's like a solo artist too, and
Tight, tight.
I knew him since middle school, and I didn't know anyone creative. I didn't know like because my network was always been nerdy ass kids and sports people and stuff like that, and like people just are just consumers in a sense. I didn't want to be a consumer no more. I want to be a creator, right?
Mm.
So I hit up my man's, and he was like, I was like, yo, like I just started taking photos. Like, would you let me just take photos of you? And he was like, yeah, bro, just pull through my show and shit like that. And that's when I started getting in a circle with people that like made music in the Bay Area. Like, and on command, you see this guy named Seiji. He goes to UCLA too.
Mm-hmm.
My brother, bro. Like, that's the first time I met him, and I didn't even, I'm from Oakland, so I wasn't even a part of that scene and shit like that.
Yeah.
Started doing shit ton of photo work, like and shit like that. And then fast forward like toward the summer, I went back with my grandmother to Australia. This is like, I think this is the best story. Like, bro, like I was so bored out there. All I had was my camera. I downloaded Tinder, and what I did on Tinder was to network with people, like just
That's
do
hard.
photos.
That's hard.
Like that's all I did. Like that's all I
That's
worked
tight.
on. And I took a shit ton of photos. I tried to get my reps up, and then at the same time, I'm still a consumer of like content and shit. Like I'm still learning,
Okay.
right? So I see all this shit. And then at the same time, like I was pre-med. And
Dang,
I'm
bro. I
not
was pre-med in college.
Yeah, exactly, right? So like any Asian parent, like Asian kid, immigrant first generation type, I'm like, bro, like I'm trying to get my family out the mud, like and shit like that, like and like
Right.
I disappoint them and anything like that. And then that's like another thing. That's why I go by Karl Perkins too. And shit. And that's when I first started using Karl Perkins because I was like, yo, like I didn't want in the future, let's say I did apply to med school, like I didn't want people to search my name up and the first thing that pops up is my photo work. And it'll be
Right.
like rappers and different motherfuckers smoking weed or
Right.
butt ass naked girls or like there's
Yeah.
different lifestyle like that I feel like people perceive wrong, but it's not wrong, So
Yeah. No, I when I was in college, I went by Scram.
mhm.
Scram was my separate like identity from like who like my corporate. Hey,
Yeah,
hello.
and like yeah, exactly, right? And I feel like what I learned from that is like me say that I'm Karl Perkins and stuff and not saying like my government name or anything like that was just like kind of like a reflection of how I felt about myself as a creative and shit like that. Like it's like some sort of dichotomy and shit like that. And that's how Command came about too, is like Command came about because me and my best friend Bammy at school were like, we love all this artwork. Like this is gonna lead. We love all this like fashion. We love everything, and we're hands on. We're really passionate about this shit, but we had nothing to show for it. Right? We're just kids, just doing a hobby in a sense. And I was like, like I think this speaks volumes to people. People love this shit. People eat this shit up. Like understanding, like trying to push the message that everyone could be a creative. Like everyone, like I've seen this shit way back in the day. Like, oh, like creatives are the new athletes. Da da da. But it's like the fucking facts. Like our generation has access to so much shit, dude. Like it's insane. Like you could download Photoshop today and like learn how to use Photoshop and shit like that. You could download Premiere Pro and like shit like that. You could use your fucking phone to shoot a video and shit, right? It's like information is endless, and like access to like just shit in general to make shit is like endless, right? So it's like to be able to create a brand and a collective that represents that was our goal. And like using our story of like, yo, like we're pre-med, like we're college kids, like y'all, like, or any kids, like anyone else, like trying to juggle school and trying to like figure out their life and what do you want to become. And it's okay. Like you could be a fucking working 9 to 5 at 7-Eleven and still sketch and still be creative. You could be the fucking biggest artist in the world, right? And still be like real. You feel me? Like you're not just a creator. Like creativity is intertwined within our lives. Like you look at like the fucking, I don't know, like you look behind me and shit, like how I hanged up shit, like that has some sort of creativity in it, right?
It's real,
Even though it's
yeah.
like inherent, right? Like how Brita Filter, like I have a Brita Filter in front of me, how like Brita Filter designed your picture and shit, like that had some sort of inherent creativity in it. So what we try to strive for is like remind everyone's a creative and buy into that, and like it's okay to show that part. And that's how Command came
That's
to be.
nice.
And like we just in a sense gravitated towards people that we knew and people that we knew that were doing great work, and added them to the collective and was like, yo, like he does music. Like everyone's supposed to see like some sort of representation of a form of creativity in a sense, right? And that's what we try
Yeah.
to do. But yeah, that's like, sorry for like the long ass spiel, but
Nah,
yeah,
no, that's lit, bro. Like, I think that's tight to have something like that, like I feel like that's what a lot of creatives uh crave, is like that kind of community, you know what I'm saying?
exactly. And like we're a community, we're everything. Like that's what I mean by revolutionary. Like I want, like when I came in, I'm an ASAP fucking stan, bro. Like, and I'm like I'm a stan for ASAP, like how they move, the aesthetic and all that shit. Like a lot of young kids and shit like that. And like you look at Wu-Tang, you look at Odd Future, you look at all these different like entities in a sense, right? These groups, like they're all music based, but what I wanted to do was like culture moving forward. Like how I see culture is that culture is becoming very unison, and like the barriers are breaking so much faster than we think. Like
Yeah,
Ye and shit. Like you talk about Ye, like Ye broke the barriers. Like I'm not a rapper. Like I'm an artist. Like everyone says that now, right? Like I'm not a rapper. I'm just an artist. I'm not a designer.
exactly.
I'm an artist, right? And that's
Right.
true. Like, and companies and brands and just groups and corporations in general are gonna start representing that too. And I want to be one of the first people to do that, right? And do it well. Like I want a TDE that's mixing with Dior. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
everything is in house. Like we have the best of the best at this company. Like and all that shit. And like people could cross and shit like that. And it's like not a problem. It's fluid. And our
that's
company,
tight.
and I want that like collective and slash company represent that. And that's what Command ended up trying to strive for. But yeah, like
That's tight, bro. I mean, I think like that's one thing that stuck out. Like when I found you, I
mm-hmm.
guess found you again, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
But is like I see that within, I think, your own personal work. Like
Yeah,
like within your photography, you see so many different walks of life.
exactly.
Like it's not just female models or rappers or whatever. It's
Mm-hmm.
like a it's like a solid mixture, and I think that's hard to find in photographers today.
Exactly, bro. Hey, I got a whole spiel about that shit. Fuck all your
It's
motherfuckers
real.
that are like just straight up taking girls and do nudes and shit. Like y'all
Oh,
weirdos.
bro.
First of all, like fuck Marcus Hyde and them motherfuckers. Like
Woo.
right. So it's like I see, like I get what you're saying. Like, and then I'm not gonna lie, like there's a lot of photographer that just has a point and shoot and just use flash, like, and that's cool and all, but
Yeah,
like I strongly believe like yo, like that's great, that shows you like that's part of being a photographer is like your networking skills and knowing people and like being able to connect with people on that level and being able to ask that person for that personal photo. But it's
right.
like there's also another side to it, is like your technicality, your artistry, what's making it
The
creative,
message.
right? So it's like
Hmm.
people forget that. And even with brands, you see fashion brands too, and you see everyone's like that too. Even in the music, it's like you have the balance, like having that network, aka having that feature, aka having the famous person on your photo, aka having a famous
Right.
person like rock clothes versus having like shit that's revolutionary, shit that is like no one has seen before, you know?
Mm.
So like, and that's what I strive to do, at least in my work, and that's what I strive to do for like Command and shit too. But
I
yeah,
feel that. Who do you think's doing it right now, like photographer wise?
I like. Ooh, that's a tough one. I need to
Right.
check, bro. I like Aiden Colin's work as far as like his work for product campaigns, and he's a young kid, bro. Like he be working with the biggest photographers and shit. He's like 18, 19, bro. And he
Really, I
has
didn't
like
know
great
that.
photo work. Yeah, Aiden Colin. Who's some other motherfuckers I be like fucking with? Like I fuck with like a lot, like this girl named Kelsey, KWSLEY.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like her work is great. Like this guy named Can't Save My Mind. he's more of a multimedia designer. I don't think he takes photos or anything like that, but
Word.
he did like Brent Fives' cover and shit too. Like those
Okay, yeah.
are
Like Mark
and then
Beast and them?
and then more classic work like Todd is it Todd Heat? Oh fuck.
Wait,
Motherfucker that be
who?
taking it. Oh shit, let me search it up real quick. Todd Hito, bro. I'm tripping, bro. Todd Hito, like, is another great like photographer too. I think he's pretty famous for his work in like even today, like it's like just in honesty pictures of the suburbs with like one of the lights on and shit like that, and it just shows like a
Word.
different feeling. Like that's different. Like that's not portrait, and like I feel like everyone's moving towards portraits, and tend to forget like there's photos that you could do that's like I do a lot of portraits, and I do have work that like I hold off on the side that ain't portraits, but just a moment doesn't always include a human being. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily has to be like a
That's
person
so true.
to be a moment. Like a tree falls like in the middle of fucking December or some shit and the human's not next to it. That's a moment. Like it
Right.
causes like life to happen again or some shit like that, right?
Right.
And that's like the same idea when you try to do photo work is like it's easy to do. I think it's a lot easier to do portraits in honesty because it's like
Yeah.
right because people connect
Because
to
there's soul, there's energy.
yeah exactly right, and people connect to it so much easier because they see a human face and they see it and they recognize it
Right.
and it's like it's relatable. But when you do like photos that are just a fucking hydro flash, right? How do you make that compelling to someone? Or you're like a photo of a building and shit.
Exactly, bro.
And
So my question for you then off of all that is there a difference between a fine art photographer and I guess just a photographer?
just a photographer, I think the lines are blurring like real fast. Like
Yeah.
right? Like I think
I would consider like the suburban concept as like more fine art.
yeah, like it is. I get what you're saying. Like, but what I'm trying to say is like end of the day, like they feed to each other so much. It's like the same argument you can make for streetwear versus high fashion. Like, I think
that's real.
how how accessible like camp photo work is now. Like the hierarchy should be like in a sense like crumbling. Like that idea that I have to be in the fucking moment to make it big. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I have to be in some museum or some shit, some fine art shit, like, to be big. Is like, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, I strive for that shit too. Like, bro, like, if mom were to hit me up today, like, yo, we love the photos. We love hanging out and shit. Like, I'm not gonna say no. Like, I'm not fucking stupid. But I'm like, based off your question, I believe like it's blurring. There's still like a fine line. Like, people want to be on par, people want to be different and shit. But people are different in everyday life too, like and shit like that. And I guess that could be fine art. Like, but
like that's where it's such an interesting question. Is that topic is because like has social media essentially ruined the fine art world?
I think it didn't ruin. It made it better, bro. Like because
like more accessible.
Fine art. I strongly believe fine art is like anything in the art world and culture world is like very hierarchical and like very like gatekeeper mentality. Like you have to know this one person to put you on in a sense. And like social media try to break that, right? At the same time, like what makes everything dope, like in a day, like there's some sort of social dynamic in a sense that's like what makes something dope sometimes is like not everyone could do it, right? Like you could talk about how everyone could do it, but not everyone could do it, and that's what kind of fine art kind of hinges on in a sense. But
so like, would you consider Gunnar Stahl a fine artist?
No, I'm not gonna lie, definitely not. Like I love Gunnar, I love what he did to show like the world like what's possible with a camera for like with a kid with a camera and shit like that.
Yeah.
But it's like it's tough, you know, because I think I'm a slave to it sometimes. Like fine art, like someone has to tell you it's fine art, or you don't believe it, right? Or someone has to tell you what fine art is. Like, bro, like that banana and duct tape shit is the same idea. Like, oh, bro, that shit is fine art. But at the same time, it's like if some other motherfucker did that shit as a fucking joke or some shit like that, not in a museum, like, would you call that fine art? You know? So it's like, I as a kid fucking duct tape a banana onto a wall too. Like, I wouldn't say I made fine art, but it's like I guess there's an intention in it and like what they try to do with that. But I don't fucking know, bro. Like in the day, I think fine art is defined by who's looking at it. Like if you show my parent like a fucking painting of just a blue canvas at a museum, they're like, bro, I could have done that shit, right? Versus like another student or some shit like that, like that's studying it. It's like it is fine art. Like it took this much time for them to get there to that point, or it's about the like. There's so many different interpretations. I feel like all right, I'm my final answer. Fine art is based on the person's interpretations and their kind of experience and their kind of like relationship with the world and other people to like kind of define that piece or some shit like that.
Dang, I feel that. I'll take that one for sure.
I keep on going off on tangents and shit, but
nah, that's the beauty of this podcast, bro. Like, I'm still learning how to do podcast, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But like, that's what I think is the best thing. It's like when we just go on those tangents. That's where like the good shit is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. Could you hear my son crying in the background?
A little bit.
Oh shit! That's gonna add some ambiance.
I feel like keep some more real, like.
Exactly. Fuck it.
Fuck you.
So okay. Let's talk about what is so like with fine art. There's and photography. The whole idea and process of it is telling a story or expressing yourself.
Yeah.
So what is it that you want to come across with your photography? Like what's the message that you give? Or is there not one? Is each one its own little thing?
Like I'm just trying to figure it out right now. You know, honestly, like what I always struggle with that a lot because I don't know. I think more than anything, I don't think every single photo has a meaning to it. I think my journey into photography and like just my process should show the message of like identifying self in a sense, identifying like your own creativity and stuff like that. Like I don't think every fucking photo has that, right? But I think the collection of photos I eventually like have at the end, like when I pass away or some shit like that, I think I want it to represent, because it's like that's why I think photo is good and art is good in general. Is like it's not always. I love looking at things at bigger picture. People like looking at with a microscope and it's like, oh, like this person put like this and that's why he's defined by like this. But I rather look at a collection of work and see like that progression. So I want that. Yeah, so I want like just the collection of photos to represent like my journey for realization of my own like artistry, right? Because I don't know, maybe 5 years from now I'm not taking photos and like and like maybe I'm not okay with that now, but like by then like I'll be okay with that because maybe I'll move on to something that I feel like is more fit for me during that time. But yeah, bro.
That's the little homie. That right there is little Poppy. But no, I feel that. I think that's really dope, and like it's like it's I think a really a unique way to look at it too, is not as compared to as a whole thing, but to comparing it as the most important part of your work is your journey as an artist.
Exactly. And like people fail to believe that, like and shit like that. I feel like people shit on other artists for like changing and shit. And like I think by looking at a bigger picture of things, it's like it's all about the change, right? And it's all about the progression rather than just being stuck in one way because everyone fuck with that style or some shit like that. Because
when I first got started in photography, I was doing all the grain, all that shit, and then I started seeing everybody else doing it, and I was like, damn, like I thought I was popping, and then everybody else started doing that shit, and then I kind of and that's kind of when I evolved as an artist. I realized I was like, oh, well, let me try making high definition type stuff, like not like HD, not like the HDR shit, but like just like really well portraited, like well lit portraits and stuff like that, as compared to like
and it's like as an artist, I think sometimes it's about learning the like tools that are available to you at your disposal to make the best sort of what you want to make, right? And it's like some people shot films because they didn't have access to a fucking DSLR, right? And it's now like a thing to shoot on film. At the same time, some people shoot DSLR because they don't have access to film. and some people would just shoot at golden hour because they don't have access to lights.
Mm.
And some people, like you realize like what image you want to make in your head or what you want to go for, and you go for it, and then you realize like, oh, like these are tools that's available to me, and how am I gonna make these tools like in the best way to like make that image happen, or like you try to find a way to obtain the tools to do something that you want to do. Like
It's
That's
really
probably
being creative with what you have. And
exactly.
and honestly, I think that's a huge flaw that a lot of creatives struggle with is the fact that it's like, oh, I don't have a new Canon 5D, I can't shoot. It's like, no, fucking just get better at shooting on your other camera.
I'm dead ass, and like, bro, like motherfuckers be shooting VHS potatoes and shit like that, bro. Like,
It's so real.
like you could be creative. It's just that how do you want to be creative? Is it like, oh, you want to go for this certain look and you don't have this like that technical stuff necessary? Then it's like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do about it? Are you just gonna sit there and not and use that as an excuse to not put out work, or like
Mm,
to kind of put yourself out there in a sense, or is it gonna be something that drives you to like work even harder to get it? Like you want that thing,
exactly.
bro. Like guess what? You're gonna book more shoots and try to save up money for it,
Right.
or like you find a way, like you just finesse or hustle like your way out of there. Like I strongly believe like if there's a will, there's a fucking way. And,
No, that's for sure, bro.
yeah.
That's real. Fuck, I just blanked on what I was gonna ask you something.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, what do you shoot on now? Are you
Well, I
only
shoot on
film?
the same. Yeah, only shoot on film. I have Canon A1 that I've been shooting for. Like my A1 fucking broke, so I just bought another Canon, and I only have one lens. Bro, like I realized like my setup, like compared to a lot of people, like I don't have like the widest range amount of lenses. Like I only use a 50. I have a medium format that I bought not too long ago that I started shooting on the Mamiyas
Love that.
7 RB67. I don't even have the RZ. Like bro, like everything I buy is off eBay and shit. Like
Yeah.
everything I buy is off fucking Craigslist and shit like that. Like whatever I could get for the cheapest, usually I go because like shooting on film is already kind of expensive. So
Mm-hmm.
and then what else do I have? I'm in Nishika. I bought that shit like when I was a freshman. When it first like I think the first little 3D thing I saw was on some Miramasa ASAP Rocky shit, and I was like, yo, what the
Yep.
I still remember. And I bought the camera, and now that fucking toy ass dude, it's literally a toy camera, bro. It's like insane. People go crazy over that shit, but
I have one of the fucking Ashika.
yeah, exactly, right. And then I have what else do I have? Shit, I have Polaroids. I have random point and shoots. I have like a VHS camera. I have 2 VHS cameras, and that's it. That's all I have. And I have light. I finally bought lighting setups and shit because I finally found a value understanding like studio space
Mm-hmm.
and shit. So I started fucking with that. And the funny thing is like I don't even own a studio space. Like literally my apartment is a studio space. So
That's all
like
you need, bro.
yeah, so like I have a white wall in my living room, and then I just use that. I do like you'll be surprised at the amount of photos that's on my fucking feed that's literally in my apartment, and people ask me where the fuck I shot this, or like, yo, let's shoot, and they pull up, it's my apartment, and it's like dingy as fuck. It's like, but yeah.
Hey, listen, you got to get it how you can get it, bro.
Yeah, it's just funny, bro. Like it's crazy how perception is like a lot different and shit like that.
Right.
You know,
Would you ever want to go digital or nah?
I see the value in it, and don't get me wrong, I've shot digital photos before, but maybe I just don't feel the need to. And honestly,
Right.
I love the film photos and I love how it looks. Like maybe I'm too comfortable in that sense, but
Mm,
I think eventually I will have to. Like I'm not even gonna lie to you, like
right.
it just has like digital photos just helps you so much more in the film photos too. Like you just have like a camera that could take so many photos and show you like the settings of the lighting and stuff like that. And then you
True.
can shoot it on the film for the last shot if you want to. So that's what I've been doing. Like I've like digital cameras aren't hard to come by. You get what
At
I'm saying?
all.
So like
Everybody has one.
yeah, so like all my homies have one and shit, so I just borrow from them and shit like that. So that's usually how I move. But I never see the need to.
I feel it. What's your process of like booking gigs?
Booking gigs,
Yeah.
hit me up, network. Like as a photographer, like I realize it's not sometimes not even about and like almost everything you do in life, like it's so much different from like being a pre-med or being just like in the corporate game is like it's about more it's so contingent upon who you know. And
Mm-hmm.
like all my friends know I take photos, all my friends know I do this creative work and shit. They hit me up. Like they have artists that want work, they hit me up, right? And then like that's usually how it goes. Like unless like I'm really in awe of an artist, like I'm putting myself out there and asking them.
Right.
I don't charge them at that point. Like I
Yeah.
want to work with them no matter what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. 100%.
so yeah,
It's
that's
like it's like you investing.
yeah, exactly. And like in honesty, I'm I'm like the fucking master at underselling myself, I feel like. So like yeah, like I'm not as aggressive as I should be, I feel like when it comes to all this creative stuff and you're booking gigs and shit. So like I think that's something that I should work on, but it's about, getting out there and like one showing like in the social media age and shit is about showing to people like what you're about, right? And what you
Right.
want to do. Like if you do video work and you have nothing to show for it, no one's gonna know you do video work. And it's like
It's real.
off handy dandy and shit like that you fucking did it for yourself and have it on your hard drive, but it's like like if you really want to make a living out of it, then I think you have to show people that you actually are about it. So that's that.
Right.
Just
That
keep putting
that's self promotion.
yeah, putting consistent work out there and using your network and just the people around you to like kind of push where you want to go forward. And actually, like if they want the same goals for you, is like even better.
Mm-hmm. So what's your creative process like then?
It depends. Like each project is different.
Right.
Like some projects you walk in and like they already have an idea. Some projects you walk into, you have to come up with an idea. And it's like it just depends on who you're working with. At the end of the day, like if you're working with someone that you worked with so many times before, like you don't have to worry about stepping on toes or anything. You just go in, do your thing, and like come up with an idea. It's literally come up with an idea. How do you finish? Like what do you need to make the idea happen? Secure the things that
Mm-hmm.
you need to make the idea happen, and then just executing. And that's like as simple as it gets on a broader scale. But if you want
Right.
nitty gritty, is like like if you're shooting some sort of campaign that needs this look, is like how many days am I gonna need to scout for a location and shit like that. Like it's all about understanding what needs to be done in that project. Then you could understand the process. I think that's like the
Mm,
major key.
I
Um,
feel it.
but yeah,
And this goes back to you being like a creative director where it's you like to know everything from A to Z and
yeah,
make sure that it's there.
exactly. Like I'm a fucking like I for sure got myself in a couple of like arguments and just couple of just like like disputes and stuff because like I am a control freak in a sense in some sort of way. Like I want to like micromanage and shit like that, but
Sound
that's
like an artist.
yeah, like I want to know like like how you're doing this and shit like that. Like
Right.
I want like I just when's your deadline and shit. Like I'm a very like logistical person in some sort of sense.
Yeah.
Like and it's like I feel like I was talking to my friend about this. Like I feel like sometimes the creatives out here now is like they might have the best opportunity in front of them, but some of like the most creative people in the world are not the most hardworking people in the world.
Oh,
You know?
so real, bro.
And it's like not to shit on anyone, but it's like it's a fact. Like some people have like a brand built already and have like that reputation and shit. It's just like they just don't see it like that, and they don't move like that, and they don't work hard and try to like make if they're not working on their craft, then like are you working on like putting your shit out there or something like that? It's just things I feel like
Mm,
people fail to realize that are
right.
beyond like just oh here's a pen and paper, like what's your idea? Like
Mm-hmm.
ideas are great, but how are you gonna execute them?
Right. Where they say the graveyard's the richest place or something like that.
Why? Because of the
Because
uh,
because everybody dies with these ideas.
exactly. No, that's facts. right? And it's like
I'm pretty sure I slaughtered the fuck out of that quote, but something like that.
something like that. I get the general gist. It's like it's true. Like so many motherfuckers out here, bro. Like they have great ideas. Sometimes it's just fleeting, right, in their head. Sometimes it's like they talk about it once and you never hear about it again. But it's like, are you gonna make it happen? Are you just like it's gotten to a point where like I do that, like we all do that. Like we're all like at fault for that at times. Is like, are you gonna talk? Or are you gonna make it happen? Are you just gonna think about an idea? Or are you gonna execute on the idea? So it's like,
do you have one idea that you haven't done?
Huh? Do I have ideas that haven't gotten done?
Yeah.
I have a lot of ideas that haven't gotten done. Like I've scrapped so many shit. Like I have music videos that I just never got to edit. I feel like editing, like I fucking, as much as I love video work, like I realize like editing is such a tedious process and sometimes I do not like doing it.
I feel that.
There's been a lot of videos that fall flat because of that. What are your projects? Like I work on IG filters. I know how to use IG filter stuff and that kind of fell through. Before this Corona situation, I was working on this tech art project, which was a live AR space, like an art space that you could app on your phone and stuff, and like you could see artwork on the walls, like and shit like that. And like I was working with a bunch of tech developers and shit, and web developers and shit, and we were like literally almost done, but just this whole Corona situation happened, and it was like with kids at school and stuff. So it's like that got involved. And like I'm like, there's just so much dope shit on there that I'm even thinking about now. Like I should probably try to reach out and figure some shit out with that. But it's like we could draw within like your phone and stuff like that. So like you could go like this and you draw like a line left, right. You draw space. You could put like it was like Minecraft, but like in AR space kind of. And at the same time, we had like artwork on the wall. Like we had AR filters that you could like you have merchandise from command, like it'll manipulate the merchandise, like you can wings and shit like that when you rock your shirt. Like
bro.
Yeah, like I had like that lined up, but that kind of fell through because of the whole Corona situation.
Bro, you gotta do that shit. That sounds hot.
Yeah, like I'll probably make it like a downloadable app and then make it where it could fit like a usual room space and like people could just see the art and walk through it and stuff like that. That's what I'm thinking. But there's been a lot of stuff, bro. Like not gonna lie, I feel like there's for sure like now there's less, but for sure before there's been more stuff that's scrapped than like stuff that I finished. And that's like the first thing you gotta get over. Like it's like perseverance is key, bro. Like people forget, like you have a great idea, you gotta stick by it. Like command is like an idea that I love and I live by, and it's like it's been 2 years and it's not like it's blown up or anything like that, but it's something for sure that I strongly believe in, even if it's not that name anymore or whatever it might be in the future. Like I strongly believe in that just general idea as a whole. But it's like
I love it, bro. What advice do you have for future creatives? Just to wrap up the general conversation, what advice do you have for future creatives listening, or just other creatives listening? It doesn't be future / other.
Anything. Be organized. Number one. Like number two, understanding what you bring to the table and pushing that forward, because a lot of people love to be creative, but they just don't understand like just how to work with others and stuff. And like you could forever like be alone and like just draw in your room all day. But I think to make something huge is like to work with others, and if you don't understand that part, then you're kind of fucked. And then like I said before, like executing, like understand, like when you talk about idea, you put the idea in the world, is like you're gonna have to do it. It's like it's not about just talking about it. It's like you just told me it's a great idea, and shit's like, bro, if the idea never comes about, then it's like no one else gets to see it, and you don't get the satisfaction of finishing something. So it's like
it never makes it to being a great piece.
Exactly, it's just something that's a figment of your imagination. I could be like, yo, like it's like, yo, like I had thought of Apple and stuff like that before everyone else did, but guess what? You're not the first one to execute it. So it's like,
You ain't Steve.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like there's so many people that has great ideas. It's just they never execute it, and they wait until someone else execute it to realize like they're worth something in a sense.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Bro, let's wrap up with speed questions. You ready for this, bro?
But
You got like 5 to 10 seconds or so to answer each one. Nothing crazy. What would you take with you to a deserted island?
Shit, emergency, like water filtration or some shit like that. I'll be practical about it.
My man's real practical. If you had to be someone else for a day, who would you be?
Shit, who would I be? I'll for sure be like Jackie Chan or some shit like that.
Ooh.
I want to see how you living. Fucking, is he really as wholesome as everyone says, or is he like a fucking dog or a fiend?
That's the real question. If you could invite anyone dead or alive to dinner, who would it be?
Dude, that's a good ass question. Dead or alive? Who might? I would probably invite. Shit. Dude, that's a hard ass question actually. There's so many people that popped into my head and shit like that.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. All right, someone that's dead, I'll probably do like.
Dead or alive, either one.
I'll probably do like some historical figure like Confucius or some shit like that.
Oh, that's hard. That'd
right?
be a deep ass
but
conversation.
Alive, I'll probably do like someone that I fuck with now a lot and is like on some different shit, but like for sure, like Yams. I would love to talk to Yams. Yams dead now, but like that's someone like I look up to like what they did with ASAP. So I would love to pick his brain about shit like that.
I feel that. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
It changes a lot, but I'll say right now, I'm vibing with Hong Kong a lot. That's where my dad's from and shit. And
dope.
Yeah, it's on some different shit right now. So like politically and just all that, and I want to just embrace all that.
I feel that. Well, what would be your ideal holiday destination?
And honestly, wherever my homies are at, like I'm dead at, like wherever my homies are at, like I could care less if it's in fucking Idaho or like Bali or some shit. Like
I feel it.
I just want to be around the homies and put in work. I'll be honest with you, I don't have like a specific place, but yeah.
Okay. If you won the lottery, how would you spend it?
I'll invest 80% of it in the market, and then use that 20% to build a startup company.
Okay. If you were to star in a movie, who would you like as your co-star?
Who would be cool as fuck? Like if I'm thinking about like some fucking comedic shit, dude, Chris Tucker comes to mind, dude. Like, Rush Hour fucking 3.
Rush Hour Chris Tucker?
Rush Hour Chris Tucker.
Come on, Jake, come on.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go with that, or I go with some fucking chick, bro, that like Emma Watson or some shit. Like she's fire as fuck. Like something like that, like Zendaya or some shit like that. That'll be fire.
I love it. And lastly, Poppy and Friends podcast or Poppy and Friends podcast?
Poppies and Friends podcast.
Ooh, thank you, bro. Yo, thank you for hopping on this with me, bro.
Yeah, no problem.
This shit was lit. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Y'all give my man a follow at Who is Karl Perkins on IG. And yeah, that's Poppy and Friends, y'all.